Shabbos Parshas Nosai, Yudal Sivin Tovshin Lamed Hey. Bayom HaSheni, in the second day of the Chanukas HaMizbeach, came out the second day of Nisan, Hikriv Nisanel ben Tzuar's Nasi Yisachar. So Nisanel ben Tzuar, the head of the Shevet Yisachar, brought his korbanos for the Chanukas HaMizbeach, Chanukas HaMishkan. Midrash Chazal, it's explained in Midrash Chazal, Shevet Yisachar, Hikriv Shein L'Shvatim. Why did Shevet Yisachar bring his sacrifices, the second one of the Shvatim? If you want to go in the birth order, he was the ninth Shevet to be born. Shouldn't the older Shvatim be given precedence? She says, the Chazal say, because they were masters of Torah. Like it says, from the children of Yisachar, that they knew understanding for the times. It means Kiddush HaChodesh, to be Ma'aber the Chodesh, Ma'aber the years, and so on. But they were learned, and they were involved in Torah study. It's known the analysis of this. According to this, it's not understood. If he was so important because of his Torah study, why was he the one that offered on the second day and not on the first day? The Lechurim, it's Admal Satoira Roy, Shevet Yisachar, Yaakov Gamlefnei Shevet Yehuda, so been worthy that he should offer his carbon on the second day. It should have been worthy to offer it. Yaakov Gamlefnei Shevet Yehuda, also before Shevet Yehuda, who was the one that brought the karbanos on the first day of the Chanukas HaMishkan. Gam Tzorach Lahav Mashenamar. Also, we need to understand how it says it. Nesanel ben Tzuar Nasi Yisachar. It says Nesanel ben Tzuar, the head of the Shevet of Yisachar. Shemagdim Shmoishal Nasi Nesanel ben Tzuar Lifnei Shmoishal Shevet. He first says the name of the Nasi Nesanel ben Tzuar before he says the name of the Shevet. The Bechol Shvatim Magdim Tchila Shmoishal Shevet, and all the Shvatim he first says the name of the Shevet. Kimoi, for example. By Yom HaShlishi it says, Nasi Levnei Zvulun, there was a leader of Zvulun, and only the Rebbe adds the words V'acharkach, only after saying there was the leader of Zvulun, then he says Aliyah ben Chelon. While derech B'shara Shvatim, so too in the other Shvatim, first it says which Shevet he was the Nasi of, and then it gives a name. Why over here does he preface and say Nesanel ben Tzuar v'rak is the Omer Nasi Yisachar, and only afterwards he says the leader of Yisachar. Moving to this understood. Shashem Nesanel ben Tzuar shemakdim hakasav v'fnei Nasi Yisachar, the name Nesanel ben Tzuar, that the pasuk says before saying that he's the leader of the Shevet Yisachar. Shayich lezeh shehikru b'yom hasheni. It's connected to the previous word. It says that he offered it in the second day. V'zeu bayom hasheni hikriv Nesanel ben Tzuar. That's why the pasuk says not bayom hasheni hikriv Nasi Yisachar Nesanel ben Tzuar, but it has direct connection between Nesanel ben Tzuar with the second day. The reason why he offered the carbon on the second day is because of the idea of Nesanel, the son of Tzur, whatever that symbolizes. Ois base. The Yuvim behegdamar mavur does be understood by first prefacing what's explained. The idea that on the second day of Nisan, Nesanel ben Tzur, the leader of Yisachar, brought his carbon that's connected with the idea of Truma. Hine in Yonishal Shevet Yisachar, top of page Vav. The idea of Shevet Yisachar, who in Yonat Torah is the idea that they were masters of Torah, Ken Yisrael, like we mentioned before. Truma oisius Torah mem. The word Truma can be divided into letters that make up the word Torah plus the letter mem. What's the idea of the letter mem? That's the idea that the Torah was given in over 40 days. The 40 days of Moshe Rabbeinu was in Har Sinai. The idea of Torah mem or Truma mem is also connected with the literal idea of Truma. We know that in concerning Truma, it doesn't say in the Torah how much of the crops of the grain do you give as a Truma to the Kohanim. But the Chazal said that a person that's an average person will give 1/50th. Someone that gives about ayin yafa, someone that gives with a good eye is not cheap. He gives 1 out of 40. Because the measure of truma, if you're giving with a good eye, is 1 out of 40. So that's why truma has in it Torah mem. What does this symbolize spiritually? But that's explained concerning this. The idea of truma is referring to the avodah of Kriyas Shema. Shehi avodah hachi nailas. It is the most highest type of avodah. So now the Rebbe is going to bring in the brackets. True, we're going to find other places in Chassidus where Shemoneh Esrei is called the highest avodah, and it's okay. He says in the brackets, line 7, do as it's known. The two explanations and approaches that our Rebbeim have concerning the avodah of davening. Sometimes explain the ultimate elevation is the idea of Shemoneh Esrei. You're standing like a servant in front of the king, and that's why you have to stand, and total bittul. Sometimes explain the ultimate ascent and level is Kriyas Shema. You shall love Hashem your God. The less there's no service like the service of love. This is also what's explained over here, that the truma is the most highest. The fact that the truma, which is the highest, most level, that's koyal Kriyas Shema, that's going on Kriyas Shema. So he's going to explain about the idea of Kriyas Shema on line 15. Concerning the first two parshas of Kriyas Shema, Amar Azal, the Chazal said, Lama kad mishma l'vahayim shemoya. Why did the Chachamim establish that Kriyas Shema you should first read Shema and then Vahayim shemoya? Also, why did it proceed also in the Torah as well? They said because first the person should accept upon themselves the yoke of heaven. That's what they're saying by saying Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. We're accepting Hashem as our God. And afterwards the person accepts upon himself the yoke of the mitzvahs by saying V'hayim Shema Tishma Mitzvah Hashem, etc., etc. So the Rebbe adds a very interesting point. The very fact that he has to ask why, that means there would be it's not just like capricious. Why not say the other way? No, there would be a reason to say the other way. From the fact that they ask, why did Shema precede Vayim Shemoya? Moving, it's understood. There's an advantage in Vayim Shemoya. There, because of that advantage, we would have to have said it prior to Shema. And despite whatever quality we think Vayim Shemoya has that would precede Shema, still in all, the conclusion is no, we do Shema first because of Kabbalah Soil Mak Shemayim first. The Rebbe says this is similar to Yisachar and Yehuda. Similar to what we said previously concerning the Shvatim of Yehuda and Yisachar. They are similar to the two parshas of Shema Vayim Shemoya. Shemitzad Miles HaTorah the Shevet Yisachar Roy Yaakov Karbonim Yamerishon Fnei Shevet Yehuda. Because the quality of Torah of the Shevet Yisachar would have been worthy that he should bring his carbon on the first day of Nisan, on the first day of the Chanukah Mizbeach, before the Shevet Yisachar. Al Shemekol Makim still in all Haya carbon, the Yisachar Shevet Yisachar B'Poel B'Yam HaSheni. In actuality, the offering, the sacrifice of Shevet Yisachar was on the second day of the Miluyim, the second day of Chanukah Mizbeach. La'achri HaKorban the Shevet Yehuda, after the offering of Shevet Yehuda, Kishem Shavoyim Shemaya Parsha Shnia the Kriya Shema La'achri Parsha Shema. Just like the Parsha of Vayim Shemaya is the second Parsha of Kriya Shema after the Parsha of Shema. Umezem movement this is understood. Shakarbani shall Shevet Yisachar B'yom HaSheni U'ma'oise Atam Sheparshas Vayim Shemaya Parsha Shnia. The korban of Shevet Yisachar is the second day of the days of the Chanukah's Mizbeach, for the very same reason that the Parsha of Vayim Shemaya is the second Parsha. Kedei she'yikabel of El Mat Shemaim Tchila, they should accept upon himself the yoke of the kingdom of heaven first, as the Rebbe will explain the connection and the association between them.